We extend a hearty welcome to you, ma'am, and I would now like to request you to conduct the session further and enlighten us.
Thank you so much, Manya, and namaste to all my young friends at Lucknow.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, it is visible.
Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. So, as we all know that today is 26th November and the Constitution of India was adopted on this day, this very day. So it sounds definitely great that when we learn that our Constitution has provided its best for the development of women folk, it provides quality and protection against discrimination in all forms. The principle of gender equality is enshrined in the Indian Constitution in its preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles. As you all know that today, this morning, President and Prime Minister of India has read this. So let's go ahead with this Constitution of India's preamble. So we all can read it together in the sense that I'll read and just because of the technical issues, one person will read, I will just speak and you all can read. We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure all of its citizens justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. So this is what our preamble speaks. And the best part is the legacy of our constitution is very much imbibed in this preamble. And what does it say? It says about, so the provisions which are under the Constitution of India, you all must be hearing this, at least hearing or reading a newspaper about Article 14. So first of all, we will be just taking the provisions which are under the Constitution of India. So Article 14, which is the Constitution of India, ensures equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. This is a very important provision which provides equal legal protection to women against any women-based crime. This provision also paves the way for the introduction of various laws and acts to ensure protection and enforcement of legal rights of women in India. So this is Article 14, which talks about equality amongst all citizens. So as I will not be giving you a tough time to understand all these things, but just to understand what are the articles, what are those articles which equate women to men. So they talk about Article 39 of Constitution of India, which ensures the benefit of the directive principles. These might be some difficult terms for you to understand, but directive principles of state policy is a way where the state governments can form guidelines or frame some laws for the protection of their citizens or the people living in that state. Article 42, Constitution of India casts a duty on every employer to ensure just and human condition of work for women or for their maternity leave. So these are just a glimpse of the articles. Then comes the Article 243, which says about the reservation of seats in Gram Panchayat for women. This opportunity of being a part of local level arbitration process has improved the social condition of women in village. Article 16 is mainly talking about equal employment opportunity to every citizen of India. As per Article 16, there should not be any discrimination in respect of employment opportunity under the state. Now we can see women are doing really good work in politics and in court. If any woman is suffering mental or physical torture, she can undergo this act and claim her rights. So these are the legal provisions under which women are absolutely safe and they can raise their voice. Besides that, I would say the government of India had been right from start. They had been providing some special initiatives for women. Like we have National Commission for Women. Then we have reservation of women in local self governments. The National Plan for Action for the girl child, that is there. The National Policy for Empowerment of Women. So all these things overall had been coming together to make women feel part of the system fully. So the main article, one of the article which covers all of them in one is Article 51, which declares it as a fundamental duty of every citizen to renounce practices to respect the dignity of women. Indian Parliament has passed the Protection of Human Rights Act in 1993 for the proper implementation of Article 51. Yes, you are the future. You are the future of India. You all can do it, and you can make. It's only DPS, your branch, but others only. All the schools, if they think about it, they talk about it, they can change. They can bring so many changes. And believe me, it happens. Your bit matters a lot. So you put your bit, things will automatically start happening. So with this, I would like to stop. Thank you so much. Thanks for hearing so patiently.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Would you like to maybe ask a question, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
If any of the students from the gallery would like to put up a question, you're most welcome. Ma'am will answer any questions you have on the case in point. Okay, ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
As you mentioned the directive principles, as in the DPSPs, there are citations basically which can be considered, they're basically moral values. And there's no foundation, like you cannot, even a PIL can't be, it cannot be registered for the DPSPs. They're like they're like existing, but there's like powerlessness in the DPSPs. So don't you feel, I would like personally, do you feel irritated by the DPSPs? Because I have, because whenever I've read about the DPSPs, the most important of the things which haven't been in the rights are mentioned in the DPSPs, and they do not have any power of their own. Because you cannot go to the courts with saying that this is mentioned in the DPSPs, but you cannot file a case or anything.
So that is again directive principle of the state policy. If they feel that according to our, our conditions, our circumstances, this suits. Although you're right, if they are not that much, or sometimes they are effective. But that, I shouldn't say, but that sometimes it is politically motivated, isn't it? So in that case, but we can definitely file PIL if PIL is this PIL is there for all these things only. Why not? If you children, you think, if anyone thinks, yes, this is something, why you can go, you can reach and you never know. With this, this is how things have changed. If you feel something is not correct, we can go, definitely. That's a very.
May I ask a question, please?
For sure.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Ma'am, I want to know your opinion on why do we call it women empowerment and not girl empowerment, because I feel that if girls are empowered, then we don't need a women empowerment.
Do you think girls and women except age, is there any difference? Okay,
ma'am, that's why if we at early age are informed about it, then we don't need anything like women empowerment if we are already empowered.
When we are saying then in that case women would say no, it's only girls empowerment, we would not participate in that. Just on that lighter note, Tanvi, you have it's a very nice question. I shouldn't say that it's not, but just on a lighter side, I must say that Indigo, if you travel in Indigo, what would they say? All girls and women, right? Girls and ladies, they would say. So, okay, we can always give a suggestion to, Government of India, Government of UP, or the states, that whenever you mention, you can always mention. So these are the suggestions which are coming from the young generation. And yes, what you suggested, it's a suggestion and it should go ahead. Why not? Yes, it's definitely a good suggestion. We can write to, your department in Government of UP. They can take such beautiful suggestions. Lovely, Tanvi. It's good. Keep it up. But at the end of the day, yes, girls are going to become women, and women sometimes they become girls, right? Is that right? So all women. So when they yeah. So at the end, but it's a good suggestion. These governments can, if you tell them, if you write to them, if they accept it, they can take it. But otherwise, there is no difference.
I'd like to wrap up the meeting for today. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lightened the flame within us. In this interactive workshop today, we might have come empty-handed, but each of us are taking a lot back from here. I take the privilege of thanking Ms. Neetu Mishra ma'am for giving her valuable time to apprise us all on this topic of the essence. It was indeed a great experience, and I believe all of us have learned so much because of her. Thank